Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Mundane Voices podcast. We have an amazing lineup today, including...
My name is Travion, and I am filled with blind rage.
My name is Farhat. My favorite word is moist.
And my name is Marcus, and my left pinky toe has a benign tumor in it. Let's get started, gentlemen.
So the reason why Marcus sounds so aggressive right now is because I just stopped production in the middle of shooting the podcast.
We had a
reset.
really good just opening, and I learned that I moved too much, and the mic was a little too close to where I was, and the audio was not good. So we're all a little heated right now, but not probably as heated as Travion is.
About these annoying little things people do, like stopping production midway through. But beyond that, people that walk slow. You brought up a very good point, Marcus.
So, earlier, brought up an amazing point, and I got a little too heated. You should be able to walk at a normal speed, unless you are physically disabled, which I understand. If I see that you have a cast or a brace or you're walking with a cane or whatever, that is fine. I do not care. Walk as slow as you need. You clearly need to. But if you are an able human being, you should be able to walk with the flow of people. And if you're walking slower than the person who's walking behind you, either kill yourself or walk faster.
Now, you said if you're going down some stairs, you need to let them pass.
Ooh.
But I'll tell you, you can also be the world's most aggressive asshole.
And
If you're
just
the person that's
run.
walking down an escalator and then you hit the back of somebody and you're like, excuse me, it's an escalator, there's not much room. You can chill the fuck out for a minute.
Let me ask you a question. When you see an escalator in the mall, do you think that the purpose of the escalator is to you don't have to walk and it gets you downstairs, or is it a faster way of getting downstairs? Because honestly, I fucking hate people who just take their time on an escalator.
Are you serious right now?
I do.
The whole point of
But
an
I
escalator...
won't interrupt somebody. I have they're in front of me. I won't make.
The whole
them
point of
move.
an escalator is just, I'm too lazy to move, let's go down.
But that's
That's why there's usually stairs next to an escalator.
Now,
Farhan.
but when you are in the airport and they have the moving floor, that's not because you're lazy. That's because
they want to speed up things.
They want to speed up things, and people know that they might be late for a flight, and an empty hallway is just
No,
normal. You're supposed to walk normally at a faster rate.
What's funny is that escalators end up cluttering an area anyway. You've never seen an escalator with just one or two people on it and everybody else is taking the stairs. If the ground moves, people are there.
Yeah.
So at an airport, you'll see everybody on those little moving floors, and the middle.
Okay, so
empty.
can we talk about how much of a god you feel like when you're walking at a normal pace, but you feel like you're sprinting on this fucking thing?
Yeah.
Hey, have you ever... Okay, so I was lucky enough to be in an empty... airport on one of those moving floor things, and I fucking sprinted across that shit. I felt like Usain Bolt.
Well, sometimes when I'm on that and I reach it to the end, I don't notice it until I look back and I realize that it's only been 15 seconds, but I just crossed 150 feet. I feel
yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, when I was little, the first time one of those, I was just walking at a normal speed, and I looked back and I was like, holy fuck, they're still at the thing where they haven't even met the moving.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's one of the greatest feelings in the world, and don't know if you guys know this, but I'm a bit of a Twilight fan.
Okay.
And one of the scenes requires them to walk at a normal pace but move fast as shit because they're vampires, and for some reason they don't even have to try to do this stuff right.
And for some reason they need to walk faster when they get out of a car, and then they help Bella out of a car, and they just use the speedy thing to make it look cool.
Yeah.
Fucking A, dude. That movie. I'm sorry.
So it's moving ground, and so they're walking, and they said they got tripped up a ton of times because they felt like a god walking and they didn't know where they were stepping.
No, I had a sister that was obsessed with those movies. The best quote in those entire films aren't people from Arizona supposed to be super tan?
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I remember from that movie. That movie was such shit to me.
I hated the book and the movie.
Did you know that the year that movie came out, the most popular names chosen for newborn babies were Bella and Edward?
Ooh, pissed me off. The same thing with Hermione and Harry and Ron.
That's bullshit, though. I mean, don't name your kid after a fictional character unless it affects your life directly.
I have a friend named Ender after Ender from Ender's Game.
And does he hate his life?
No, he loves his name, but he goes by the name Phoenix because that's his middle name.
Which is okay. Ender
God.
Phoenix. What's his last name?
Matajasic.
Are his parents Triginjo Pyrofox?
No, his mom's a feminist, and his dad, I don't know what his dad is.
Apparently a giant.
Married to a feminist. So, yeah, it's not very
Well, no,
fair.
gone after the child was there.
But
I'm
Ender-
sorry, Ender, if you hear this. I love you. I don't mean to any disrespect by this. A lot of people think your name is cool, Ender Phoenix Magic, holy fuck, but also your name is ridiculous.
That's
To
the
be fair,
name of a
holy
lightning
fuck.
god that can walk but also move super fast.
Yeah, that's the name of a superhero whose superpower is to walk fast.
But to be fair, like, superheroes are such bullshit too. Like, Marvel has made like IPs where the only superpower this person has is they can remove their limb and then proceed to beat somebody with it.
That's true.
That's it. That's
it's
all.
like arm detach man or whatever the fuck.
Did you hear about Bat Superman? So there's like an actual like super villain that Batman and Superman have to work together to face off, and it's just a man who absorbs Batman and Superman's abilities.
Fuck.
That's all it is, and then
Fuck.
they can't beat him.
So
They cannot beat him.
So
And
he's a
at the
ninja
end-
that can ninja around Superman, but he's also Superman.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Wait,
And then,
so
like-
it's a supervillain that has the powers of
Well, he's not
Superman.
really a villain. Like, he just wants to be famous
Right.
and he just fucks shit up.
So he has all the powers of Superman and dead parents. I mean,
yeah,
what a win-win.
That's pretty dope, honestly.
That's pretty accurate. I mean, but the way the comic book ends, that series, is just like he loses his powers. Like, it turns out like it's like he has mana, because Superman and like Batman are like, fuck it, you take over the world, do what you do, and then they're just like at the end of it, like it turns out like he just has like a mana bar that just ran out that doesn't refill, and he's just a normal guy again.
He didn't go to the fairy fountain, so he's fucking out.
Yeah.
You know what the worst part is? Like, his physical being was half Superman's face, half Batman's
Oh,
costume.
motherfucker! Are you kidding me?
Half
That's
Batman's costume.
Half Batman's costume, because, like, I'm not sure, like, he's never taken the mask off. I guess it's part of his face now. And the rest of it's Superman's face. Like, what the fuck is that shit?
That's fucking ridiculous, dude.
But that is hilarious.
It's called being a lazy artist.
Okay, so speaking of artists
They still have to draw that. So I'm
and
not sure
and
what it is.
comics, what is your favorite version of Batman? I don't know the name of the artist, but there's an artist who does this pseudo-realistic style, like very Norman Rockwell kind of shit, and he draws Batman with not white eyes. He draws his eyes, and everything's done in a painted style, and it's fucking gorgeous. If you know the name of the artist, either put it in the description or tweet it at me at whatever the fuck my name is. I'll say it sometime.
You know how many people that's gonna infuriate?
Oh, hold on. I'll look it up right now. I'm grabbing my mobile device.
Despite how much people defend the great moves by comic books, sometimes it's just a lazy fucking artist that just like, I don't know how to work this in here, so.
There's
And
a famous
it's
picture.
always good when the comic book's aware of itself too.
There's a famous picture of like this is bad art, and it's Captain America, and his chest is like crooked and like big,
Yes.
and like his stomach is huge, but there's supposed to be muscles, but he looks fat, but the anatomy's wrong, and like it's like a perfect image of like what you shouldn't do. But he was an actual comic book illustrator, and it's fucking garbage. Also,
Yeah.
at Vivid Bandito, the word Vivid and then Bandito. If you're not Mexican, look it up. Bandit in Spanish.
Right now, my Twitter handle is Governing Rain, but I'm thinking about changing it to the Belligerent Idiot. So when someone like tags me, it's at the Belligerent Idiot.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I might do that.
A Vivid Bandit O. There you go. So add an O to the end and it's Mexican all of a sudden.
This is why Twitter ruins lives.
It does. Twitter's a great way to show off how much
You know,
of a cuck
I've
you are.
seen a tweet that was like taking a shit.
Yeah, it's like what the fuck, dude? Nobody cares. It's like if there's a famous bit where like there's a guy that has like he's talking about like if people just carried around microphones and that's how they did Twitter, like no megaphones, and they just went like they're in a library, they're like hashtag just took a selfie, but in the middle of a library and it's a megaphone and like everybody just tells them to shut the fuck up, that's just how Twitter works these days.
Twitter is separated by geniuses and people that think they're geniuses, and there's
See,
that's
follow
it.
Neil deGrasse Tyson's Twitter. You'll never regret it. It's the best shit ever.
Really?
Yeah, or follow
Bill Nye?
I don't know if Bill Nye has one, but follow Comedy Central's Twitter. It's not that bad. Speaking of Comedy Central, are there any good shows recently that you like?
I just watched the Conan stand up, and that's all I do.
I'm
I'm watching a ton of Archer though.
I've got to say, and it's kind of depressing to say it, Tosh Point has been going on for a bit too long.
Yeah.
And it's
It's been
starting to
dragging on.
starting to seem very very repetitive, and it's
So,
crushing my
To be,
dreams.
to be fair, it's like The Soup.
Yeah.
That show was amazing at first, right? And then you finally started getting in the routine of it, and
Or
you're all like,
Mad TV.
yeah.
Same kind of
Oh,
shit there.
well, there's the thing though. Mad TV was like Saturday Night Live, where you could like,
You get into it.
you had a vague idea of what the sketch was gonna be,
Yeah.
but it could go either way.
One of my favorite shows right now. Don't laugh at me if either of you have seen it, but also audience. Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, a Netflix original.
I am
I
not a
think I
fan of
have.
you right now.
Really? Okay, so hear
Is
me
that
out.
the girl with the Amish girl, and she's just like
Yeah.
in a bunker, and she finally surfaces? But
Yeah,
she's
she was part of a cult that led her to believe that the world had ended when she was like a teenager or something like that, and she lived like until she was like 27, believing that the world had ended by a crazy. Anyway, the humor is literally mom humor, but in the mind of a fucking meme spewer. Like, that's the best way to describe it. Like, there's a gay black man, and all he is a gay black man, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, when you say it's like from a mom of meme spume, is it like the mom who still tries to be cool because she
Kind
knows
of,
she's starting to
kind of,
age?
kind of.
Is that what we're getting at?
It's so cringy, but it's just dumb enough that it's good.
I saw the generic mascots episode.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of funny. But honestly, if I be completely honest, don't be offended by this because I know it's your show. But I mean, like, I think that show would be so much better as like a movie. Like, I don't think that should be a series.
I don't know. I think the way it works is just fine. It's just set up. It's just set up, joke, and that's the entire episode. And it gets kind of tiring. What are some classic shows that seemingly seem to be going on forever, but they're still not that bad? I want to put in Robot Chicken. Like,
yeah.
I don't.
Really?
I would say South Park. South Park is one of those
Yeah.
things where it's funny, like just at face value, because fart joke, whatever. But if you like really think about it, it's still hilarious.
Matt Parker, Trey
Matt
Parker,
Parker.
and Matt Stone. Sorry, I've heard are brilliant writers. However, don't fucking crucify me. I've never really seen South Park.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I used to hide it
The
when I
an-
was like a little kid and it was on the air. We weren't allowed to watch South Park, so we'd stay up to like 2 a.m.
The animation turns me off.
I totally understand that.
But to be fair, all animation is like that.
Fucking like Robot Chicken is the epitome of punchline. That's it. There's no setup. It's just a punchline, and that is not bad when it's done the way that it's done.
See,
They're the writers of Robot Chicken are the masters of short form comedy. Now, is it extravagant and kind of dumb sometimes? Yes. Are some of the longer bits a little bad? But the short shit really gets you. It really hits you. Like the famous bit of the gummy bear that's singing and then it gets his foot caught in the bear trap. Like, yes, that's dumb, but holy shit, that's like perfect for what they're doing, you know?
Yeah.
Like, or the humping robot, it'll just cut and be him humping a washing machine and then it cuts again. Like, it's internet humor before the internet was really internet humor.
I don't know how to say this without sounding like a dick. I want you to imagine Robot Chicken.
Okay.
And all it is a series of parodies.
Okay.
And it's like Jim Gaffigan.
Okay.
Right? His jokes are funny in short bursts. But the second they drag on, you're just like, hurry the fuck along.
Yeah.
Where's the punchline?
Yeah.
And then I want you to imagine like a good show that's also nothing but parody but done right. Something like Rick and Morty. Like, look who's purging now.
I think Rick and Morty is the perfect example of what Robot Chicken is, but in long form.
I disagree.
I
To
think
me-
Rick and Morty is by far one of the best TV shows I've ever
To
seen.
me,
in my
Rick and
And it
Morty
pisses
is
me off that they put a year and a half wait at the end of season 2.
life. Keep going.
to me, Rick and Morty is the brilliant idea of here's what Robot Chicken is. Obviously, it's not. I'm not saying it, but in respect to like in comparison to Robot Chicken, here's what Robot Chicken is, but longer. Robot Chicken is just boom, similar to things like Aqua Teen Hunger Force, but it'll peak, but whatever, fix it.
That's all he knows how good I am with the sound.
Like Rick and Morty, yes, I'll agree, is brilliant. It's one of my favorite TV shows of all time ever.
Period.
But it's a longer version of what I think Robot Chicken is trying to do. But Robot Chicken is intentionally short. Right? Robot Chicken isn't meant to be genius comedy. It's just happening.
Robot Chicken only has about 15 minutes worth of content to it.
That's fine. That's all it needs.
Well, that's a good point.
per episode, right? Like Robot Chicken is not meant to be. Oh, I'm gonna watch I'm gonna binge watch a whole season of Robot Chicken. Nobody fucking does that. They watch one episode and go, that was fucking hilarious, and then they're done.
And then they're done.
I don't know, just like, but I think like like shows like Aqua Teen Hunger Force is very similar to Rick and Morty in the fact that it's that random comedy that keeps going, and it's great. I love it.
I don't like Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Why?
I think about it too much. I look at it and it's just pesky bullshit. That's accurate.
That's my favorite kind of humor.
I like dark humor.
I think it's pretty fucking dark. There's an episode where Carl starts doing weight loss stuff, and he gets these like weight loss bars that actually have a virus inside of it, and it fucking eats its way out of him.
Okay, so let me rephrase. I like aggressive dark humor. Like, have you ever seen my Twitter page? Like, I like to make a joke every time there's a tragedy. Like when Japan had that that tsunami that ruined their reactor.
Yeah.
I tweeted, I was like, does this mean God wants in on the nuclear arms race? People got so...
See, the thing with dark humor is it's supposed to be funny and really obscene. It's not for the people that aren't with it. It's just like, how do I explain it? It's like Tumblr.
Yeah.
Don't get a Tumblr account if you're not ready to see Tumblr shit, you know? Like, just don't do it.
Maroon 5 in full nudity.
Yeah. If you want to study the way comedy works, watch two things. Watch Adult Swim, just in general. You will see shows like Rick and Morty, Aqua Teen Hunger Force, Robot Chicken. Obviously, things like Robot Chicken, Aqua Teen Hunger Force, some people don't like it. Some people don't like Rick and Morty. Some people don't like Super Jail. Some people don't like Frisky Dingo. Whatever. There's so much comedy there, and there's so many different kinds that there's a lot to learn from. And what they're doing, they're kind of masters of what they do. Adult Swim is so successful because of what it is. But if you also want to study comedy, study old Chuck Jones cartoons. I'm talking like Looney Tunes, because it's the perfect idea of assumption, proving that assumption wrong. Assumption, proving that assumption wrong. One of my favorite bits is Wile E. Coyote is bringing up a crane ball to drop on Roadrunner when he runs by, and the crane, like, you assume the crane ball is gonna like fall and break or something or whatever. Like, your mind jumps to all these different places. What it doesn't jump to is that the crane ball rolls backwards onto the crane and crushes the bottom of the crane. Like, yes, it's silly and ridiculous, but that's the whole point. It's assumption and then proving that assumption wrong.
See, I like a lot of minimalistic humor. Like, every day for an hour, I watch the classic Tom and Jerry cartoons, because you can absolutely binge watch those.
Yeah.
But there's a scene where Jerry, this is one of the very early ones where they're just establishing who Tom and Jerry are.
Yeah.
And then Jerry starts like shooting like fireworks at him.
Yeah.
And Tom hides behind this barrel, and then he peeks his head up, and out of nowhere he has his helmet on, but it's a German Nazi helmet.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn. I was like, that's good. And then we see Jerry like swing around to like a Humvee, like this Jeep, and it says like U.S. Navy on the side of it. And I was like, I get what you're getting at. And it's nationalistic cartoons that are simplistic but really well done.
I think simple things are the best way to do it. Like, wow, Chuck Jones was a master of doing the small facial expression to change the way it looks. Like, someone else who does that perfectly is Robin Williams. Like, they can change an entire scene with one little face movement, right? So, let's say the dog catches Jerry, catches Tom, and he's like, haha, I caught Tom. And then Tom, it's not Tom in his hands, but he's not looking. It's like a model of Tom or something like that. And his ears are perked up, and then one droops down because he realizes he's not holding Tom. Like, that's perfect. Like, the way I explained it is a little weird, and you see it, that's why it's visual comedy. But like, that's just the perfect way to be like, oh, he realized what's going on, and it just took one little thing to signify that.
Can I ruin your childhood? So do you know how the old Tom and Jerry series actually ended?
They died. They got hit by a train.
Okay, first off, no. Second off,
they committed suicide together.
Yeah, and
it's such a hard.
What's your point? I hate all these little theories about like, oh, your childhood show is not this.
No, it's not a theory. Here's what happens in the actual show.
Yeah, and here
Tom's girlfriend cheats on him with a richer cat, and then he gets really depressed. He falls into depression. He doesn't want to catch like Jerry anymore, and Jerry's like, fuck you. I'm gonna live my life. I have a leader that loves me. And then she cheats on him with a richer mouse, and she like leaves him, and they're in the same situation. and then they sit on train tracks. And then Jerry says, it'll all be over soon. It fades to black, and the sound of a train gets louder.
It's
and
like
louder.
when I first saw that, I actually cried. I was like 11, and I was like, no,
It hurts.
no.
It hurts to look at your childhood just die.
That's a weird thing to say. I think that's what
It's not like all the other.
Oh, this ruins your childhood. I don't think it does, but it's still sad to see.
I just don't like those ones that dig too far into it. Like the same thing, same
How the
situation.
Rugrats is a schizophrenic episode.
Yeah.
Oh.
So hold on.
Yeah.
Same thing is true with Courage the Cowardly Dog. The end of the first season, Muriel and Eustace get turned into puppets, and Courage can't bring them back. So then he just plays with the puppets, and that's like how the episode ends. And people are like, so that was like the true end to it, and it's like, but it's not.
Are you sure?
That show wasn't meant to be a continuous show. It's much in like
It's a situational comedy.
It's the
That's
same way.
why.
It's the same vein as SpongeBob. It's meant to be like that was the last episode because that was the last idea they had for that season. It wasn't, or that's the order they made it, or whatever. That's the order it got produced. It's not. That's not meant to be the end. It just was.
See, Courage in its purest form, the way you can rate it down, you can actually like get it down pat, is Courage is a dark situational comedy. But Tom and Jerry is an episodic adventure. Like it picks up where it left off. Like things that happened prior in the show are still canon.
Yeah. They're like when they move, it shows that they moved, or like when it's a different woman, it shows it's a different woman until there's a new one or something.
But isn't that true? Because a ton of cartoons do that thing where it's like, just because the episode ends and things end, like Eustace dies or they move houses, that's just like one episode, and it usually never carries over.
See, don't look at it as in like something carries over. Think about it as like Friends. Think about the bullshit sense of Friends and Seinfeld. So it peaks and there's this event that happens, but at the end of the day, nothing matters because everything's normal and it's right back where it started.
Mm-hmm.
With Tom and Jerry, it's this constant growing conflict. There's an episode where Tom dies, right?
Yeah.
And he makes a deal, and he says, if I can get Jerry to write an agreement of forgiveness, will you let me into heaven, or will you let me reclaim my life?
Yeah.
And he fails. He goes to hell, but then Jerry like fills it out, and he like makes this plate and all that. But Jerry gets to come back to life. It doesn't end there. It picks up right back where it started.
Is that the episode where he sees the kittens?
Yeah.
Yeah, he like walks up to heaven, and then there's a bag,
fuck.
like a bag lands in front of Tom, and he's like, "What the fuck is this?" He opens it; it's a bag of kittens, and it's like, no,
No.
like,
So you know what happens? You have it a little bit confused.
Yeah.
So he has to get in line to get into like heaven, like the rail car to heaven, and so a sack just like hops its way up to St. Peter, and he's all like,
But St. Peter's like a train station guy in this one.
yeah. And then he's
yeah.
all like, go on ahead, and he's all like, some things people will do with kittens. And then as the bag hops away, it leaves this little puddle. And that's good situational dark humor.
Yeah.
And it's just
Okay, so Farrat knows this. I don't think Travion does. Farrat was there when I said this. We were talking about things that scare us, and as a little kid, and even now sometimes, I was terrified of nostalgia because I didn't know what nostalgia was. So right now, as we're talking about something that I'm remembering, I'm getting nostalgia and it feels good, but then I'm like getting chills and stuff, and it's really weird. I haven't had this in a long time, so I just wanted to bring that up. Listeners, it's weird. I'm scared of nostalgia. Make fun of me.
If we're talking about weird fears, I have one of the best, and I never tell people, but now it's about to be published on the air for everybody to know. And
Purpose surface sonogifilades?
No, but to make fun of me. I have an irrational fear that I will fall into the sky.
Really? Just I don't know. Just
I have a fear that one of these days when I'm walking outside, I'm just gonna float up and I'm gonna suffocate into space.
You know, that's actually not an irrational fear, because when you get your head around astrophysics, it's baffling. Because all it is you're on a central spherical mass, right? And you're dangling from your feet over this abyss around you, tied together by this central dense point. That's not an irrational fear. You're literally hanging from your feet.
Thank you
all
for
the
trying
time.
to back me up, but that never was what crossed my mind. In my mind, it's just like,
I'm just gonna
one of
start
these
floating.
days, I'm just gonna start floating up and I'm
back
gonna
to
suffocate.
cartoons a little bit. One of my favorite Tom and Jerry bits is like Tom is trying to get this lady cat, and the lady cats are always very provocative.
Sexualized.
Have you ever noticed that? They're crazy provocative. But she's like laying.
He's trying to get some pussy.
Yeah. Hey, she's laying in her room, and like she's like listening, right? No, it's Tom. Jerry's laying like in his little mouse hole. He's done for the day, and his bed starts moving. It's like doom 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 doom.
I know
And
exactly
his
that
his like
episode.
bed starts moving up down, and he's like, "What the hell?" And he gets up, and he's like trying to like move around and get up, and it's Tom playing like a
cello.
yeah, an upright bass, whatever, for the girl, and he's like, "Easy ways, oh easy way, my baby." Doom, doom, doom. But that's so clever. Just like it's so deep that it's just moving Jerry's little bed, and like his hat's bobbing around and stuff. But it's super clean animation. Like it's just the way everything looks is super nice. Like one of my favorite examples of clean animation is the early Simpsons. Like, have you ever seen the way the early like season 1 to 4 Simpsons? Like, because 9 is where it died, 17 is where it shouldn't be. It shouldn't go on anymore. But 1 to 4, it's so fluid. It wasn't like it looked almost frame by frame, and it was beautiful.
You know what upsets me though? You know what, this doesn't upset me. This just weirds me out. The Simpsons is a family-based situational comedy.
Yeah.
Right? We all agree on this.
Yeah.
And now Marge and Homer are getting divorced, but it's still very much a family comedy.
Yeah.
Like I don't get how you can do that.
Because The Simpsons is all about America, and people get divorced now quite frequently.
That's
You
unfortunate.
were making.
Oh yes, I was making a pointing motion. Where you have almost never seen South Park, I have almost never seen The Simpsons.
Really?
It's just something that I've
Really?
never.
That's
ever really
almost
been
as
into.
big, I would say. No, that's
Yeah.
bigger. I'd say that's bigger.
It's slightly bigger, yeah, but
Like I don't know, just I like the colors and I like the early animation. One of my favorite artists, what's his name? Psychic Pebbles. Follow him on Twitter, YouTube, whatever. Sleepy Cabin. He retweeted like a clip of the early Simpsons, and Homer's just like, and it's brilliant. It looked so good. It's just so clean and fluid and nice, and like it's just.
I have to
great.
say, I don't know what happened to animation recently, because back then there was so much care. All these little things, all these little attitudes and the way things relate to each other was such a part of the comedy in such a way, like the feel of the show. When now, have you seen the new Powerpuff Girls?
Ooh.
I saw one episode and I got halfway in and I was like, fuck this shit.
If you really
wanna
look into
preserve my
each
childhood.
episode, the animation is a disaster. Like some of the things that happen are absolutely disgusting.
Are there
See-
any new shows that you think have good animation? I think Steven Universe is a good.
I was gonna say, I
haven't
think
seen it.
Steven Universe is definitely really stylized and it's pretty smooth.
It's still pretty basic though.
Yeah.
Their actions, like the fight scenes, yes. Like the scene where like anytime Amethyst goes into the fucking like the Sonic Ball thing, that looks brilliant. But like just like some of the basic movements are very like samey, and like Steven laughing will always be the same clip of Steven laughing.
Yeah.
But I love the backgrounds. They look painted. Like they do this cool thing where it's like color and then lighter color overlaid and then white lines to signify like light streaks or something.
But Adventure Time sort of does the same thing where it's like Finn and Jake have these very certain animations that they
Yeah.
move in a certain style. It's like this didn't seem like it was specialized for this area. It almost seems like they use the same assets.
Yeah.
But then everything in the background is so stylized, and there's this new little area. with new
It's
things.
weird because like you can either make your main
Actually,
focus.
I think that Adventure Time is one of the biggest offenders of lazy animation.
Really,
I do.
I think it's beautiful art though.
Because have you ever noticed? I like to analyze my movies
Yeah.
and my film and everything that I watch. And it's really
Shout out to Future Thing coming up.
So if you stare at the background, because the background's a huge part of the story, right? It's about the placement. It's about little subtle hints in the background.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's always a blur. It's always not well defined, and you can always see something that's supposed to be part of the story as really well defined, because that's later going to be captured by the image of the eye. So that's the only thing that they focus on, they fix, and I just don't like that.
Yeah. I think like there are kind of two ways to approach it. You can either do like your center point, whether that's the characters or whatever item it is like in clear focus, and then the background's blurry or whatever, like kind of with like a camera. But also like you can make something like you can make the character really stylized or like the background really simple. Like something that does this really well, I think, is SpongeBob. Like where it's like Squidward comes in and he's tired, but like his position is just down and whatever, and then it'll zoom in on him, and it's like a hyper realistic. Like his eyes are like crusty, and like his mouth is red, and like his nose is all wrinkly. You know, like I think that's a really cool like transition shot almost.
Hey Marcus, do you want to see me make Farhat mad? I don't care for Breaking Bad.
That's fine. I like it. Go for myself.
That's a little too anticlimactic.
It's because he doesn't want to show his true rage.
Three shows I've never seen. Breaking Bad.
Go kill yourself.
Walking Dead.
Nah, you're right there.
The Wire.
Kill yourself.
Game of Thrones.
I thought you said
right.
3. That's 4.
That's 4.
Okay. Here's what I'll tell you about. Damn it, I lost it. Go through the list again.
Breaking Bad, The Wire.
Walking Dead. Walking Dead. That was the one. Walking Dead. You don't really need to watch past season 2.
Okay.
There is no reason to.
You don't even need to watch past season 1.
Yeah, really, you don't. I mean,
It's really
there's
good.
subtle things that get better, but for the most part, you're like, so they go there. It seems amazing. This place they just arrived at. Oh no, it turns out it's not amazing. Zombie outbreak. Guess you have to leave. Hey, what's this new place we've seen? They enter new place.
Do you wanna know the entire story? Man wakes up from coma. Man looks for friends. Man finds wife. Man finds location with friends and wife. Turns out it's a shitty place. Main characters die. Cycle repeats.
Okay.
Looks up the wife dies in season 3.
Come on, man. Spoilers.
Hey, guess
Sorry
what?
for
The
spoiling
comics.
something. Oh, the comics are
Man.
so good.
The comics are great. I like them. The graphic novel.
Graphic novels.
The graphic novel. My neck beard.
My neck beard.
Excuse me while I comb my hipster fro.
Favorite TV show out right now?
Archer.
I haven't seen Archer. I heard it's made by the same guys as Frisky Dingo though, and that makes me kind of excited.
So-
honestly, you're gonna hate me forever. It's either whatever. What's the new? It's a new cartoon it's a Netflix original, and it's like the 70s, but it's like it has Bill Burr, the comedian, in it, and he's like the writer and director.
Danger 5?
No. It's about like this dad and whatever. Anyway, it's brilliant. Look it up. It's called whatever the fuck. And then Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. I really like right now. I don't watch a lot of TV though.
Okay, so that's understandable.
So Trey and I have a scenario that I'm gonna lay on you, Marcus.
Okay.
Imagine you're at like a library.
Yes.
Oh
And
god.
you're wearing some old shorts, like 2 years old basketball shorts,
Yeah.
right? And
Do they still fit comfortably?
no,
see, that's
tight.
the thing is
They're
because
tight.
they're basketball shorts from 2 years ago. They're a little bit
too high.
tight. They're snug in certain areas. You know what I mean?
And so you go to the librarian's desk, and it's at a low counter, right? And it's a flat low counter.
Yeah.
And say you're picking up like a good book, like say something like some H.P. Lovecraft, right?
Okay.
And then you're going to give the lady the book, and then you just look at her and you go, "No, I want to check this out." But then she looks down and she sees that your H.P. Lovecraft is ragingly erect.
Like amazingly in front of this older librarian woman. What do you do?
So she's noticing it, right? And am I noticing?
She sees
her?
it. She sees it.
Am I noticing her noticing it?
It's not like a complete dead stare where silence falls across the room and she like drops your book or something, but she has taken the glance, seen it, and now is your time to react.
No, hold on. Let me rephrase. So you've seen her see it,
Yeah.
right? And her eyes get wide at first, and then she like goes to do your things, but like she's taking a really long time, and occasionally she just like looks up.
Okay. So what I do is I pretend there's a penny on the ground. I do the tuck, pull my shirt down, and hope that works.
Are you
do the
sure?
tuck,
'Cause
so
now-
you're doing the upward tuck, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now imagine this.
I'm pulling my shirt down though.
How? Oh, but you're constantly holding your shirt down.
No. It's the shirts I wear go just past my crotch usually,
Okay.
so I should be okay. If
Okay.
not, then I just do the sideways and hope it works.
That's what we're saying though. It's like older basketball shorts. So if you do the side tuck while also a safe move, it's gonna be shown. Like your basketball shorts are just tight enough. They're gonna plaster the side.
At that point, I just have to own it. I just have to be.
It's gonna look like you put a tarp over an alligator, so that it doesn't attack anybody. You ever see somebody in Florida do that?
I've never been to Florida, but I'm assuming they do that.
Tie back to episode 1.
It's gonna look like that situation where it's just like you're draping the tarp over that angry gator.
Okay, so yeah, so I either do the upward tuck. I'm assuming you were gonna say I don't have enough shirt, so it's coming out a little bit. Then I just do the sideways tuck and own it. Just own it.
Okay.
Just completely own it.
Bold move.
Farah,
what do you do?
I'd own it, but what I don't understand is if I have a fully erect penis and very, very tight clothing at a public library, I don't understand why I'm not just using self-checkout.
Because you are already at the library and she has already seen you.
Maybe you weren't erect as you were walking up the desk. So
and then
bam,
it got
bang,
you there.
Just full tent. You just pitching a tent.
Like
I'd own it.
super hard.
I'd own it.
Me, I always said I'd actually close it within the book.
Really?
Yeah. So she is handing me the book out. She's doing the rest of the clerical stuff.
But what if it's like?
And I'm doing the quick just tuck slam, and I'm gonna immediately talk to her about my H.P. Lovecraft that I have right now. I'm gonna be like, hey, I really like his fiction work.
So Cthulhu's pretty radical. While you're just waiting for it to go down.
Let me ask you a question. What if it's like one of those books that has the barcode on the inside? So now you just gotta lift up the page, but naturally because your dick's on the page, she has to lift up the page and it automatically falls to where your penis is.
And then she just lifts up your dick and then scans it and then puts it back and closes the book and calls it a day.
Then it's just gonna slam down and be like, hey, my bookmark or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and make her laugh as I slide that thing.
Or
You know what you gotta do?
You can like crab walk it. Have you ever done the crab walk?
You gotta.
When you're pitching a tent and you don't want to tuck it, so you just kind of like bend over as you're walking a little bit.
Can't say that I've done that. I deal with it.
I'll be completely honest. I am almost always in a constant state of upward tuck. So, all the time, my genitals are usually whispering sweet nothings to my belly button.
You know what the only acceptable thing to say to the librarian is? Emily Dickinson's lesbian.
Emily Dickinson is in fact a lesbian.
Really?
Indeed.
Okay, that's good.
Just making sure that everybody knew.
You gotta find the super liberal girl at a party, right? And just go, Emily Dickinson's a lesbian. She'll be like, she's not a lesbian. She's really fond of ladies.
But yeah, I just realized that went out on the public. So now that you guys know.
Honestly, though,
next time you see Travion, just pull his pants down and it'll just.
Yeah.
It'll be like the fucking.
Speaking of good animation, it'll do the
You probably hit the table.
It's
Put it back.
Just there you go.
now I'm really curious as to where it cut. But
So I think we should be starting to close this out now. We have a good amount of raw audio, and I don't think there's much we need to cut out. So some closing topics. Sexiest animated characters.
No. We're not
No.
going down that bridge.
we
We're
are
not going
not.
down that bridge.
I'm gonna have to
Dora.
second vote to close that.
That are male.
Ooh,
Dora.
we might be able to get into this. Gosh,
Frozone.
Frozone?
No
Are
lie.
you kidding me right now?
He's a handsome.
That was not the answer I expected to hear. The Frozone. My goodness.
Honey, where's my super suit?
I am the greatest good you're ever gonna get. No, I don't know. We gotta close this.
Do you want to just get drunk when we see Incredibles 2? Do you guys want to all see Incredibles 2 and then we'll record on site and then we'll just get hella drunk?
No,
Why not?
being drunk's a bad time.
Well, we will. We should actually do a drunk cast.
We
at
should
some
do
point.
a drunk cast. We should do a drunk tank.
Being.
Or maybe not, depending on who is here. Yeah.
I don't.
Things may or may not.
Hypothetically speaking, being drunk reminds me of me having night terrors, and I don't want to the first time I felt it, I was like, oh, this is okay, whatever. And then I felt detached, and I was like, fuck, I'm having a night terror. And then the walls started closing in, my nose started shrinking, so I didn't like it.
That's me with edibles.
That sounds like a terrible experience.
Have you
man.
ever had a night terror?
What did you drink?
Beer.
Are you sure? Because that is bad time.
wrong with you?
No, it reminded me of having a night terror.
For me, my worst problem was vertigo. Is everything was just I couldn't find any.
Did you feel like you were like flying up?
No, I felt like I felt like if I took a step, my leg never hit the ground at any point during that step.
Have you ever had a night terror?
No.
Okay, so there are 3 classifications of sleep disturbances that I think there are. There are nightmares, which is oh god, and then you wake up and you're fine. There's sleep paralysis where you're about to fall asleep, your body goes to sleep but your mind doesn't, and because of that your mind goes fuck, and it goes into panic mode and basically makes you imagine everything you don't want to imagine, but you can't move and you can't breathe really, and your eyes are locked into one place.
Someone's never taken psychedelic drugs.
No, that's what sleep paralysis is, and it's a very real thing. There's a documentary on Netflix. I don't remember what it's called. It might just be called The Nightmare. But like, look it up, whatever. Or if you know somebody, or if you have sleep paralysis, it's a fucking terrifying experience. But there's also kind of the flip side of that, which is night terrors. Which the way I explain it, I've never heard a real definition, but the way I explain it is, you have a nightmare, you wake up, you're fine, you can move, you can breathe fine, but the feeling of being in a nightmare stays with you. So you're just terrified and feeling like you're gonna fucking die for no reason. So you just wake up and you're like, God, what? Oh no, oh God, and you walk and like everything feels too fast and everything feels like detached and like you're not really in control.
You know
of
who
yourself.
else had night terrors?
And then it just kind of slowly goes away.
No.
Emily Dickinson?
The kid in Sinister, and if I can talk about Sinister for 1 second.
Guys, if you haven't seen Sinister, it's great. One of the best comedies you'll ever see.
Dude, I think
Sinister is not a comedy. It's
I thought it was hilarious. I'm not even joking right now. I legitimately thought Sinister was hilarious.
I
Woods
love
is
that
really
movie.
Funny.
Well, it's
Cabin
meant to
in
be
the
funny.
Woods is
I
hilarious.
know. It's meant to be a trope. See, it was always advertised. Like all the trailers, a
Yeah, it's
very
like-
serious, dark, grim, like horror movie, and then you see it, and it's just like cut. So I want to bring up a topic.
No, you want to talk about Sinister? Hold up.
I loved that movie. I thought it was very well done. It was creepy. Yes, it relied on jump scares a little bit, but
Bad time.
You sound like Rodney right now.
yeah, it relied on jump scares quite a bit. But it was genuinely creepy. A few of the scenes in there were beautiful as far as horror movies go, especially because of all the garbage that's been released. I watch the Paranormal Activity movies now simply because I'm invested in the story.
Paranormal Activity and Call of Duty should just team up and make a movie video game.
They do. They need to.
Yeah, it should just be called Video Game the Movie the Sequel.
Yeah. Video game movie, the sequel.
And it's the exact same as the first one.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sinister was slightly new in a time where every horror movie is the same copy and paste, and I love that.
I'd say that. Yeah.
So I want to bring up a topic that you and I have already talked about.
Okay.
What if you like get to heaven, and Saint Peter is like your lawyer, and God's like the judge, right?
And he's like, you did all these things, and Saint Peter's like, whoa, nigga, hold up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
He's like, you didn't go to, well, he didn't care about whether or not you went to church because a whole lot of Moses didn't do it.
Moses didn't do it.
But Moses also cut off his foreskin and almost sacrificed his son.
Yeah, and he also did the.
He cut off his
He
foreskin.
also did the. He also did the Pharaoh.
No offense.
Oh, baby,
No offense. If God came to me and was like, cut
Free.
off a bit of your penis.
Yeah, people. Yeah. But I don't know. Saint Peter is my lawyer. He's gonna have a rough time. He's gonna have to justify something. That's also the flip side. Like, he knows.
Do you think? I just imagine Saint Peter like yelling at me like, "Do you have something I can work with?" And then I'm just like, "I went to camp once."
Objection.
And then I'll just be like, "I went to camp once," and he's like, "Did you have a gay experience?" And I'll be like, "No, but I did strangle a kid for a candy bar." He's like, "You know what? I can work with that."
So, all right.
And then I just imagine him going, "Your Honor, he did not fuck a man."
So, are you saying Saint Peter is Phoenix, right?
Yeah.
Probably.
'Cause I'm acceptable.
There's a great there's a great comic, and it's like the devil's standing there and a man shows up to hell and he goes, all right, what'd you do? Rape? No. Murder? No. Like didn't go to church? No. Drank too much? No. Forgot to have children? No. Like he goes down like this huge list and finally goes, you gay? Yeah. He goes, what the hell's going on? Are you gay? And the guy goes, yeah. And he's like, he
Well, come
calls
here,
God.
buddy.
He calls God and he goes, stop trying to hook me up with people. It's just the whole explanation to why people don't like gay people.
But like, I just imagine. I like the idea of Hitler showing up, right? And then he like looks at St. Peter's like, you can sit this one out. I know a guy. He's down in hell. His name is Goldstein.
Dude, what kind of headphones are those? Are those your sisters? What's the deal with that?
These are mine. They are bass headphones. Yes, they're pink, but a real man can rock pink.
Okay, here,
And they have sexy bass.
I'm gonna describe this to the viewers here.
Please.
They are light pink cord that feel garbage. They have a Sony flowery thing that holds them together. They have they're like darker pink with the same light pink as the wire, like drizzled over it like a chocolate covered
Like it's a
strawberry.
toaster
If that's how you
strudel.
want to describe it, but keep going.
And then a lighter, like kind of see-through, like purplish pink for the ear thing, and it honestly looks like garbage.
Okay.
They're amazing though. They have the beautiful bass. And honestly, those were given to me.
And
I honestly wouldn't wear them if they weren't that.
Oh,
good.
they were given to you.
They were given to
Because
me.
at a certain point, I thought you walked inside of some kind of Holly Sprouts kind of weird. I don't know, like some weird
Walked into
little girl's
Claire's.
store. Yeah, Claire. So walks into Claire's and is like, "I'll take these headphones." Like, what were you doing?
His
These-
options were hot green, Easter yellow, and that pink.
No lie. These were given to me.
Okay.
But the only reason why I still use them is because their sound and their bass is amazing, and it's probably one of the better pairs of headphones I've ever worn.
They are Sony quality, so Sony does a
These,
good job.
how old do you think this are?
Like a year.
4.
Jesus.
And they've lasted this long in this
Okay.
kind of quality.
Now I'm starting to think you really did go into a Claire's. You heard the whole sales pitch, huh?
Yeah.
These things will last you 4 years.
I still have them. So more than 4. Go fuck yourself.
So
How was your night with Angelina Jolie again?
good.
He's like, take that back.
Unfortunately, her skin was ashy.
You are not backing me into this corner of. That was the slyest way of saying, "Who are you dating?" Now I want you to back off of this subject immediately.
Okay. Let me ask you another question. Hot dog in a hallway?
Not at all.
I'm done. I'm a little,
Like a glove, bruh. Like a glove.
I'm a little more than done.
Like a glove, bruh.
Then why won't you expose?
Because this is not the right setting for it.
Pause.
Hmm.
How much time do we have left, sir?
We got 5 minutes.
All right.
Outro.
All right, boys. So we've been going for a good amount of time. I don't know. We started at like 4:19-ish, and it was 5, minus the freaking goddamn Farad restarting the thing. So we love you. Subscribe. Follow us on SoundCloud. Share this to your grandma and your neighbor and your neighbor's grandma.
And word to your brother, motherfucker.
Out.